Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Screen Scene Guru coming at you with another review video. This time on The Curse of Oak Island, Season 12. This was our current season. Really awesome discoveries going on, guys. So if you haven't been watching, I highly recommend you check it out on the History Channel. The seasons are available to purchase on Prime Video as well. That's what I personally have been doing for the last few years. Going into the new discoveries on the island. Really awesome coverage here, guys. For those of you that aren't familiar with Curse of Oak Island, these are two brothers, Marty and Rick Lagina, trying to discover lost Templar gold that they believe was deposited on the island. They've had several experts come to the island to date wood and artifacts they've discovered in the dig, the Fellowship of the Dig. So yeah, really cool stuff here. I'm just going to kind of skim through some of the episodes. I'm not going to give a full series review because there was like 20 something episodes. But real quick, I just want to go through some of my favorites. So I do have the IMDb page pulled up. So going into this, we've got episode 1. The New Digs. Rick and Marty and their team return to Oak Island after a flood, discovering a new shaft that could finally lead them to the legendary Money Pit. So this is, of course, something they've been looking for years due to the features on the island being changed over numerous people coming in. There was loggers that came in, industry people near the beginning of the 19th century that tried to discover the gold as well. Apparently there was a marker on the island made of stones that pointed an arrow towards the money pit. Unfortunately, during construction, those rocks were moved, and they did make another arrow, but unfortunately it's not pointing in the same direction exactly. So there's been a lot of things that were discovered and then moved, changed, which has led to the money pit's discovery being sort of a prolonged journey to discover it. Also, the tunnels underneath the island, there's flood tunnels, which prevented a team back in the 19th century from digging to get the gold. Their tunnel flooded out. A lot of people died. So there has been a curse around this gold for a long time. Going on, episode 2, let's see, Whistle While You Work. Episode 3, the saga continues. Marty and the members of the team travel to the north to the Viking settlement and uncover more evidence that may connect descendants of the Vikings to the Knights Templar back to Oak Island. So really cool stuff there. If you guys are big into Vikings, there is a huge connection there. It appears that the Vikings and the Templars were in fact working together. So that's really cool, fascinating. We've got concrete evidence. The Fellowship returns to Smith's Cove with renewed hope after discovering evidence of work that may reveal the flood tunnels and provide direct path to the money pit. So yeah, a lot of this stuff is, boreholes, and now they've actually got like gold, searching for gold materials on the island. They've got a dredge, something to bring up material and shift through it, spray water on it. So really cool stuff there. So let's see. We've got episode 10, Grave Concerns. The Fellowship uncovers more of the mysterious structures in the swamp. Artifacts within it suggest it could be a vault with compelling history. So we did know from past seasons that they did in fact bring in a lot of stone from other places in Europe. They brought this stone to make a road in the swamp. They artificially sunk a ship in the swamp to make it less of a tough terrain to travel through. They built this road, this stone road, through the swamp. It appears to be made for hauling a large amount of cargo, possibly gold and silver, or maybe even holy relics like the Ark of the Covenant, or Jesus's coffee mug, if you will, the Grail, Holy Grail. But yeah, really interesting stuff that they would bring all this material to this island and deposit materials to make it easier to make this island essentially a vault or a bank that several generations of Templars, secret society holders could go back to and deposit or pull out money. So that's very fascinating stuff coming out to this current world. Let's see, IMDb. It doesn't give compelling notions on all the episodes, just a few. So I'm skipping through. Episode 14, Sinking In. The team nears the chapel vault, but a dangerous incident in the money pit forces the Fellowship to rapidly change their plans to prevent a disaster. So as they were digging up materials from this chapel vault, it began to sink in. They had to fill it in with more soil. But of course, as I've always wondered, as they're building these tunnels or these boreholes in the island's going to become more unstable underneath. And we know there's already flowing water in channels under the island. So I'm not exactly sure how they're going to keep going about making all these boreholes to bring up material. The island's eventually going to fall apart. But we'll have to wait and see about that. Going on, we've got episode 16, Open Sesame. Spirits are high as the Fellowship is more hopeful than ever as the team digs into Alden's cave. So yeah, they admitted that not only is there channels under the island of flowing water, but there's a very deep subterranean cave system that they believe the money pit, the spoils from the money pit, has fallen actually below the channels, now into the subterranean cave system, which makes it even more harder to scoop up material and to find the gold, that one thing. So, a couple more episodes here, guys. They ended the season on episode 25. So let me just read through the last couple episodes that they have. So they had Open Sesame episode 16. 17, Boots on the Ground. As the Oak Island team digs a prime location for the money pit area, they unearth stunning clues that could identify just who built the 230-year-old treasure mystery. So really cool stuff here. We're finding out that the metals that were being used were brought in from Europe. They tested the metals, and I believe a lot of them are coming from the early 16th century, some of them from the mid-17th century, but obviously proving that people were there a lot longer than we believed previously. Then we got episode 18, If the Shoe Ships. Fellowship believes more than ever that they are finally zeroing in on the treasure when they discover oak logs, which may be part of the legendary platforms leading them to the money pit. So yeah, they found previously in other digs, oak logs that have been hand chopped by tools from long before we had machine tools. These were hand chopped by axes, and even the oak pillars that they've brought up, some of them have Roman numerals cut into them, which shows a much more older construction style. So that's really cool. And they can carbon date these wood too to give it a date, which is very good. Episode 19, Barreling Forward. While digging in a massive steel shaft in the money pit area, the Lagina brothers and their team make a discovery that could help provide the legendary or the legends about buried treasure to be true. So a lot of people have speculated over the years, the Laginas are pouring their money into this effort, and we're not exactly sure what the payout will be. Will it be archaeological evidence? Will it be real treasure? Or will it just be, discovering why humans were messing around on this island so far back? I think it's a bit of both. I think Marty understands the history, the significance of the dig. I know Rick kind of wants to get paid. He wants his investments to be, recouped after spending so much time and money on these islands. I understand they have their nephew involved. Most of their family is supporting them, so that's really cool. But yeah, a lot of people have questioned, what is this going to look like in the end. I've been watching this show for the last almost 10 years. Big advocate, big supporter of them. I hope they don't stop. It did get renewed for a season 13. Very awesome stuff for your guys, because season 13 is coming out in November. So be sure to check your accounts, your notifications for new Oak Island stuff. If you guys are big into, archaeology and stuff, uncovering the past. Very good stuff here. Okay, so I mentioned episode 19. We got episode 20, Just Beat It. As the new research identifies who may have been behind Oak Island mystery, the Laginas and their team are stunned by what they find in the money pit area. So, more metal for the most part. They find like little pins, little screws, nails, that they were handmade nails back in the day. So you showed imperfections, some of them. Really cool. They found like things like horseshoes, materials for carrying carts. So very large deposits were brought to this island. They most likely had donkeys or some kind of mule who dragged the carts. That's why the horseshoes. So very interesting stuff there. Episode 21, the solution. Okay, so new ground penetrating radar uncovers evidence of more structures in the swamp. As winter approaches, the team puts a daring plan together to get into the solution channel for the first time. So, very interesting stuff going on in the swamp feature. A lot of people have speculated for decades, for years, that the swamp is connected to the money pit. Now we've kind of confirmed that with the road, the cobblestone road, and other new discoveries found. It appears that there was spots where they were burning materials on that road, most likely to keep warm during the work season, whether it was winter or not. Very interesting evidence of them hunting on the island, and of course having settlements where they lived while they constructed this road. So that's very interesting. So episode 22, we've got Night After Night. While the team races against the impending winter to get into the solution channel and finally retrieve the treasure of Oak Island, Rick and members of the Fellowship make a connection 4,000 miles away in Malta. So they have traveled to Malta before. Has a big Knights of the Templar connection. They have archaeological stuff on the walls like the Templar cross, other things that are very Masonic and would be connected to building these structures. They had a theory a few years ago that Oak Island was actually a recreation of Solomon Temple, which is a 7-layer temple. Some of them have gold on them to trick the people sacking the temple. And apparently on the 7th level, that's where all the knowledge and the parchment papers were kept. And right underneath the 7th level was the real actual treasure. Apparently they moved it from Solomon's temple before Jerusalem was sacked in the past. And apparently they've moved that treasure from Oak Island to Ethiopia. Some people have theories of it going all over the world. So that's very fascinating stuff. Let's see. So the last episode they've got like a description of is episode 25, Uplifting Discoveries. So this is a really great episode. Big, great speech from Rick and Marty Lagina. We've got with winter closing in, the Fellowship races against the clock. Closer than ever, to discovering the one thing, gold, of course. And they've had a lot of help from the Canadian, the Canadian government and the Canadian sovereignty has allowed them to mine on this island, even though it's like a nature preserve. So that's really cool. As long as they find archaeological evidence, they're allowed to dig, which is why they have the experts on the island. They don't try to disturb any of the features as much as they can. They just want to unbury them. So they want to bring them up to the light of day just to check them out. They're not trying to disturb any features due to the preserving of nature and whatnot. But yeah, really cool episode. Can't wait for season 13. Can't wait for what they find. Now that they've got like a full-on machine for doing gold mining, I'm looking forward to them, in the next year or so, really discovering artifacts. They've already discovered small metal things. Now it needs to come to their gold and silver. So yeah, this is them, really looking forward to getting the one thing, getting paid. There is actually an Oak Island museum on the island now, so it's become quite a big thing in the last few years. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's up in Nova Scotia, Canada. So it is an area that the French battled with the Canadians over that territory for a long time. The French sort of established it to make it a bank, essentially, and the Canadians ended up pushing the French out. So that was very interesting as well. And we've got stories of our founding fathers, like Washington, going to the island to pick up a deposit of money for the Revolutionary War. So there's very interesting stuff that this island is connected to the States in a very important way. Be sure to like the video if you have learned something you haven't before. Follow the channel by subscribing. I appreciate everyone that supports my channel. I've already made it up to 89 subscribers, so I'm almost at the 90 count. And I am getting back into YouTube, so be sure to show me some support in the comments and likes. And you can even share the video if you like. But until my next video, this is Screen Scene Guru signing off. Have a good one, guys, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope you come back to the channel for more content. Alrighty. Bye-bye.